Okay, respiration. Respiration is one of the processes which, with all. Okay, respiration is a process in which all organisms, terrestrial, aquatic, need to utilize to live. And as Mr. T says right here, uh, he says he pities the fool who thinks breathing is respiration. That's true. A lot of people confuse respiration with the process of breathing. Breathing is only a portion of the process in which respiration is. So this is your body, and you can take a look at how this works. We have O2 here on the outside, and we have CO2 on the inside. And the whole process behind respiration is to get the O2 from out here into the body, and the CO2 that's in here out of the body. So that's what respiration is doing. Get rid of the CO2, bring in the O2. Why is this happening? Well, we know that each one of our cells within our body is a living little unit within itself, and it, through the processes in which it is taking in energy and utilizing it, our cells produce CO2. Well, that CO2 can be toxic to our cells, so we have to get rid of it. So as blood passes past our cells to our body, that's why we have blood circulating through our whole body, it is running past our cells, and CO2 is diffusing out of the cell and being picked up by the bloodstream and taken to our lungs so that CO2 can then be exhaled out. On the opposite side of that, we have oxygen, which is being brought in by our body and into our lungs. And in our lungs, our blood is circulating through, picking up the O2, and so it can be carried to the rest of the body, and then O2 diffuses into our cells. So we're getting rid of CO2 once again and picking up O2. O2 is being used by our cells, CO2 is being produced by our cells as a waste product, and we have to get rid of it. Now, you guys are humans, and you know that you know how your lungs you know the basics of how your lungs work. Well, we're not the only organisms that go through respiration. Here's a couple other examples of animals that live, aquatic and terrestrial, that need to go through the process of respiration. For example, our little earthworm buddy here that you might use for fishing, they have a simple diffusion process in which oxygen is on higher concentrations outside their body, so they are then able to diffuse oxygen in. Their bodies are producing CO2, so it diffuses out because it wants to go from high to low, like we talked about earlier in the year when we talked about cells. Fish, same way. There's lots of O2 in the water surrounding their gills. As the water passes over their gills are picking up the O2 and taking it in. And as the water is passing over them, it's doing the exact opposite. It's getting rid of the CO2 that is being sent to their gills through their blood. This guy looks like doesn't look quite like an animal, but it is. This is a sponge. And sponges are very basic, almost like our worm. Not very much different, except instead of diffusing oxygen through the air, as O2 in the water passes over the sponges, it picks up that O2, and it is getting rid of the CO2 that all of the cells are producing. So if we summarize this, we want, or respiration is getting rid of CO2, taking in O2, oxygen. It is closely connected to our circulatory system. Okay, without those two things, they work synonymously. They work together. So that is respiration in a nutshell. Get rid of CO2, take CO2 in, get rid of the waste product, take in new products so that the cells can operate.